Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Clark Colborn. So what we're going to do today, we're going to go over a few exercises both on the fretboard and off the fretboard that I'm using to get myself back into shape after my accident. In a previous video I explained about an accident I had a while back. The accident happened while I was working my day job and basically destroyed my right ankle and lower leg and required a surgery to put everything back together, and I was laid up flat on my back for quite a few weeks. Ended up not touching a guitar for close to 3 months. If I'm going to be completely honest, after the recording of Obscurotica finished, I didn't play my guitar on a regular basis at all. I didn't practice, I didn't work on songs. I was so busy with the mixing and the artwork and getting everything done that my playing schedule, my practice routine went right down the hill. So that happens. Sometimes you get busy and you don't stay up to speed on your guitar skills, and this has happened to me before. Life's gotten busy, and then so what I do when I feel myself slipping a little bit, I go into a routine to sort of build my skills back up, and before I go out on tour or a string of gigs or go into the recording studio or whatever, I spend a lot of time bringing my chops up to speed. What we're going to talk about today is a few of those exercises that I use, and I'm in bad shape right now playing wise, and so I feel like I'm starting from scratch as a guitar player basically. So let's go over a few of those exercises. Let's talk just for a second about any of these exercises, scales, what have you. It depends on what kind of shape your fingers are in. If you're a beginning guitarist, you should not sit down and try to do this stuff for 10 hours a day. You need to work your way up to that. In the shape I'm in right now, I can do about a half hour, and then I can tell my fingers are starting to get fatigued. And so I need to do 30 minutes and then take at least an hour break, maybe 90-minute break, and then I'll do another 30 minutes, and I'll repeat this maybe three times a day, so I'm getting 90 minutes in, and then I'll gradually work my way up to practicing for 45 minutes and then taking an hour off and then doing another 45 minutes. It's very, very important that you don't injure yourself doing any of these exercises. Now, the exercises that we're covering today are by no means an exhaustive list of exercises or scales or what have you. I'm just showing you a few of the ones that I use to get myself back into shape. So the first warm-up that I do starts with an open hand, and I just make a fist and I clench it fairly tight. I don't go crazy, but then I open it up and I'm kind of squeezing my fingers in this way. I don't overdo it. I don't squeeze crazy hard because you can actually hurt your fingers doing that. Hold that for about 5 seconds. Then I go here doing the same thing, pushing outward with my fingers, and again, not crazy hard, just about 5 seconds, and then I start over. So I do about 5 seconds here. We're not quite 5 seconds now, but that's all right. 5 seconds here, and then 5 seconds here. I repeat that about 10 times or so. The other set of off the fretboard exercises that I do basically starts out in this position, and I just bend my finger at a right angle like that, and I try to hold it for 5 seconds. Then I go to this finger, and I go to this finger, and I go to my little finger, which you can see doesn't bend quite the same as the others. And I try to hold that for about 5 seconds. And then I go to these two fingers, and these two fingers, and these two fingers, and then I go these two, and then these two. And I try to hold each of those positions for about 5 seconds, and I repeat that 10 times. And again, you don't want to strain, you just want to kind of relax and get it in there. These are really warm-up exercises, and they also help reduce what they might call ligament binding in your fingers. So the first technique that I do on the fretboard is really very simple. you'll find a million videos on YouTube, people recommending this this particular exercise. But I'll start maybe on the 3rd fret on the low E string, doing a G note. You can start wherever you want, 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. I always start on the 3rd fret for whatever reason. You hit that, then you go up a fret, hit that, up a fret, hit that, using all 4 fingers to just go up 4 frets. And then you go up a string, and so on. I'll show you something I shot the other day of how I do this. You'll have to forgive the crappy practice amp sound that's on that part of the video, but basically I will go up all 6 strings, and then I'll move up a fret and do it descending. You'll notice that I'm really exaggerating my finger motions there. That's because this is just basically a warm-up exercise, trying to get blood flowing. One of the other fretboard exercises that I do is simply running scales. Very often when I do that, I'll run the scale and then I move up a fret and run the scale again. Sometimes I move up a step. I will do only natural notes, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and so on until I get up to the G scale up on the 15th fret. So one of the variations that I do with scales is to play the first 4 or 5 notes in ascending fashion from the low G, for instance, or 5 notes, whatever feels good to you, and then add a note. Go up and down and then go back up and add a note like this. And you do that all the way up until you hit that top note. So there's a couple other exercises that I'm doing right now as part of my routine, but this video is starting to get kind of long, so I think we'll cover those another time. So those are a few of the off fretboard and on fretboard exercises that I use to get my muscles developed and get my coordination coming back up to speed. Probably the most important thing that I can do, though, and I would say this is true for almost any guitar player, most important thing is actually playing songs. Typically when we're about to go back out and do a series of shows, I will play all the songs in our set list and I will work on them until they're second nature. I get my muscle memory really dialed in. What I do is I bring up the backing tracks, drums and bass and maybe a rhythm guitar or something from the studio recordings, and then I play the part that I would play live on top of that. And often I'll record it so I can go back and pick out the spots that need the most work. And the song that I picked the other day, we'll show you here as we close the video out, is one from my first album called Clark Plays Guitar. The song is called Return from Oblivion, and it's got some challenging parts in it. It's got some fairly easy parts as well, and so we'll do another video where we look at that recording and we pick it apart measure by measure. So that's probably the most important aspect of my practice routine in getting back to my performance level of playing. So there you have it, a few warm-up exercises, a few fretboard exercises, and we're going to close it out with that video of me working on Return from Oblivion. Until next time, live well, rock hard, and I will see you in the next video.